Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. We have Tuplers in town.
Do you? Nice.
Yeah, this is the Hugo welcome party.
Okay.
Our
Very
new
cool.
designer.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually been here for a few months now, I guess, maybe 2 months, something like that. But now he's in the States with us. He lives in France normally.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
How long is he visiting?
He's with us for basically 3 days, but this is his first time in the U.S., so he's going to New York City after this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is a great call.
Mm-hmm.
New York is awesome.
Very nice. Did you guys end up getting an office?
We're in a co-working space in Somerville. We actually have 3 different offices that we've rented there. So we have this kind of like large-ish, like really pretty corner office with windows overlooking the square, which is where Joel and I spend most of our time. But that only holds really 3 and maybe kind of 4 people. So we have like basically 2 extra offices for like pairing rooms when there's people are doing stuff. So yeah, we have offices.
The tuple offices. Sounds more legit when you can pluralize it.
Yeah, exactly. Having multiple spaces means you're a real company for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
It's sort of more of a campus, really.
The tuple campus. Did you manage to get your a giant logo on the outside of that building, though?
No, although, like I said, we're on the corner overlooking the street, so we totally could put a big sign in the window.
In the window.
Yeah.
Do it.
Which, yeah, maybe we will.
Be a nice flex.
Mm-hmm. It'd be cool. Achieving all these childhood dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's great. It's just fun, like walking around the city and doing activities. We've planned a bunch of things, and it's pleasant to have a group together.
Cool. A little team building, a little bonding.
Absolutely. Yep. We were working in person, Hugo and I, on the design for those call URLs that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are in a good place. You and I did some review. I showed some to Wathen. This has been a very tricky feature.
Yeah.
As a team, and we've been going like back and forth on these a lot.
So where did it end up? Because when we talked, I was advocating for rooms.
Yes, you were.
And is that where you landed, or did you land in a different spot?
We're not going full rooms yet. I think we have a design that we feel good about, like UI and UX wise, that is not like rooms, but more like adding URLs to calls. And I think it's pretty good and pretty clear. But we've gone over this so many times, and like we've had so much back and forth that I was saying to Hugo, like we really need a prototype at this point.
Yeah.
I think we've stared at the interface too much and debated how it should work. And I think once we have something even pretty janky on staging, we will know a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling it on the design right now. Like no more fiddling. Let's build a thing and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think as we discussed, like I think a lot of the underpinnings of it seem fine, like the actual functionality. It's more about the exact words used in the UI, right, to like be able to communicate it, and that you can really iterate on. You could probably enable it on people's accounts and like see what, gauge their reactions and take in that kind of data,
Right, exactly. That's the place I want to get to, because we're doing a lot of speculating right now. People have different opinions, and they're all like pretty good. So it's time to like actually get some real world experience and try it ourselves, show it to some users, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your point of kind of like maybe you just call it this different thing and it's okay, and you don't have to like rework the whole model is a good one. That may be what we end up doing, but not sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. I'm really looking forward to this one. Like we do this call over tuple, and I do stand-ups over tuple, and I would be using that URL all the time, probably. Just drop it on the calendar invite and wander in.
Cool.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion this is a really big feature for us, actually, like in terms of usage increase.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my hunch, my not so secret hunch.
Yeah. And I'd love to build a SavvyCal integration so that you can just like drop one of these from a SavvyCal booking flow too.
To all of the founders, it has always felt kind of unconscionable that we don't have a SavvyCal integration.
Yes.
We're pretty big users of SavvyCal, and the fact that there's not a drop-down option for scheduled tuple session is like it's vaguely offensive to my sensibilities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
So we're excited for that. I'm stoked to try to ship that prototype soon. And speaking of that, there is now. Should I even say this? I'll say it. There's an event on the calendar to get the engineering team together to do like a technical feasibility / spike of mobbing.
Ooh. So this would just define mobbing. This means like multiple people can be editing at the same, or like working on the same screen at the same time.
Just think more people on a call.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So bumping the limit, and solving some of those UX problems of now there's even more people involved, more cooks. What do we need to do to make that reasonable? But this is sort of like not like, oh hey, we're going to ship the final feature in this time period. It's more like, let's block off a week in person, get everybody in here, and like let's explore this space, because there's a lot of ways we can do this, and a good number of technical questions to be answered. And so this is kind of like let's take a first crack at it and see what we get at.
That's great. I mean, those are some of the most magical times when you're like, everyone's committing their communal brain power towards one thing, and it's kind of R&D-ish. Like it's very fun.
Totally. Yes. We basically have these sort of two, like this call URLs and the mobbing features are the two huge items from the roadmap for this year that are left, basically, in my book. Both of which I think are really substantial, like lots of work, but very important product changes that are foundational, and I think have the ability or the potential to really change the trajectory of the product and usage. I mean, really.
If I recall, when you were talking about like allowing more people onto a call, it was going to potentially require you to like rework the system so it wasn't peer-to-peer. Is that what you're going to have to do for this? Or
yes,
stay peer-to-peer? Okay.
Mm-hmm. At some point, we will have to move from some point meaning some number of participants, but also some network quality. We'll have to move from a mesh network to a like client-server model. What are those thresholds, and how do you do it? And how transparent is it to the user is the tricky part.
And that's a bunch of added cost for you guys, right? If the bits are flowing through your servers.
It is, exactly. So suddenly we have to pay for bandwidth in this model. I don't know quite what we're going to do with that yet. That will have to be figured out, but I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Maybe a different pricing tier?
Could certainly happen. Yep. Could be a different pricing tier. Could be like a metered addition to your bill, potentially. You could just charge whatever you want for it. So you could turn it into a profit center, I mean, effectively. I like the predictability of per user pricing. Like saying like, oh, it's this per user. And then also, by the way, there's this bandwidth cost which may be somewhat substantial, and it's just like a surprise every month. Don't love that. And I don't love sort of disincentivizing people from using it. I don't want like an engineering manager to be like, hey, everyone, stop doing large calls because it's costing us big upcharges on the bill. It's like, oh, that's not very fun. So as always, like pricing is very subtle and complicated and lots of psychology involved. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but to me, that's a problem that's far enough down the road that we don't need to worry about it right now. Or I'm noodling on it, but I don't have answers yet.
Well, speaking of pricing, I got an email this week.
You did, yes. Sorry about that.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. We decided to raise our prices on our existing customers. We have raised our price on new customers already, and we decided to increase the price on existing customers from the 25 to 30 per user. We did a couple tests of just sort of sending it to small groups of people, and the response was all pretty much fine. The response was basically no response. So we tested 40 teams. I got 2 emails back. Both of them said, that makes sense. No worries. Go for it. And so we're like, well, okay, I think we're safe. And so yesterday or a couple of days ago, recently, we sent it to many hundreds of team owners and said, hey, we haven't raised prices since we launched 3.5 years ago. We recently just added SSO to all our plans. We think the product is a lot better, and we're going to increase the pricing for the first time.
Was it received well with the broader group?
It was, yeah. So it's been about 36 hours since we sent the email, and the response so far has been very positive, actually. Emailed a lot of people and only got about maybe like 1% have responded. And of those, half were saying, yep, totally fine. Thanks for letting me know. And the other half were saying things like, we're kind of in the middle of a fundraise right now, or like, money's tight, I'm self-funding or something like that. And for those people, I just said, hey, have a discount, enjoy. And everyone seems happy.
Nice. I do think you guys did a good job on the wording. Like the email was kind of straightforward to the point. It was confident, like, hey, we're raising our prices and here's the reason why. And this is how it's going to be. It wasn't like overly apologetic, which I think can sometimes, it just weakens the message and maybe opens you up to more criticism or pushback. So I feel like it struck the right tone.
Nice. That's good to hear. And I was honestly thinking of, I got a price increase email not too long ago that was very opaque and, didn't tell me what the price increase was. And it was like, it was very long. And I was like, okay, I want to do the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So the subject line of this email was, we are increasing our prices. And it was, pretty intentionally to the point, and tried to be as clear as possible. Like, this is happening. This is the amount. This is when it's happening. And if this is a problem for your business, if this is a hardship, let me know and we can work with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like it.
It was still nerve-wracking to send, for sure. Like, part of me still wanted to hesitate, but Joel and Spencer were sort of encouraging. They were like, let's do it. Let's pull the trigger. And so far, I'm glad we did. I think it has gone well, and there does not appear to be a big blowback or anything. And so that's a pretty big win for the business.
Nice. Is there any part of you that feels like you could have raised them more, like because you didn't get a lot of pushback?
I mean, yes, actually.
Yeah.
So Stephen was like, so how far do you think we would have had to raise them to like cause a blowback? Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a good question. It's not, I mean, my goal is not to get a blowback.
Right.
I have that thing that Nathan Barry wrote in my head, which is like, you want to have a gap between what you're charging and the value you provide. So if you're always raising the prices and like eating up all that gap, it eats up a lot of goodwill and, creates openings for other people to come in and whatnot. I'm happy for Tuple to be an expensive option in this space. When people are very price sensitive, I sort of just mentally think like, you're not our customer. I want people that want to pay for the best tool out there and like the high end version of things. And if you aren't into the high end version of things, that's totally fine and it's cool. But I don't necessarily want to be at a price point where you think we're reasonable and good.
Mm-hmm. It's so tricky. Like, I was using a product, I can't remember what it was, but I probably wouldn't name it anyways if I did remember. But I just recall like using it and constantly bumping up against different like upgrade triggers and like, oh, in order to turn on this setting, you have to get on the pro plan and this one's on the premium only. And it was like laden with this all over the place. And I just found myself so annoyed, not because it was like that much more money, but just because it felt like it was so optimized, like to squeeze every last dollar out of you, that it left a really bad taste in my mouth. So it's something I'm always like cautious about. Like, of course I want to nudge people into our highest tier, but also aware that like sometimes optimizing it too much, we're like, yeah, theoretically, maybe you're maximizing that curve, but you might just be like really harming your goodwill with your customers if you do that too aggressively.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I did have a thought, which is I think part of the reason that we're not getting much pushback on this is that we already are a fairly expensive tool compared to other things out there. And so we have already priced out a lot of the super price sensitive companies. And so the ones that are left are like, they want to play the game that we play. It's interesting. Like we've already sort of staked out our position at the high end of the market. So getting a little more expensive is kind of like, okay, sure, whatever. And Joel said like, he's like, I don't necessarily want to like keep customers where like the difference between $25 and $30 is really meaningful for them. Like $5 whole for a developer, like per month, it's like hopefully that is a rounding error for your business. And if it's not, then we're probably not the right fit anyway, and so that's fine. But we shouldn't try to necessarily price for those people. That said, I do think there is an interesting argument to be made here, and DZ from Arrows and also like Ruben we're talking about this on Twitter, which is that there is a move to be made here potentially for products like Tuple that have network effects, where lowering the price could dramatically increase usage if we have like a really cheap offering, such that it could spread, which then increases the value for people that are in the network.
Yep, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, like if it was super cheap or like had a free tier or something, like yeah, you could foreseeably get literally hundreds of thousands of developers like using it all the time and falling in love with it and bringing it to their company.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's my only worry with what the strategy we've chosen. I think that is the current strategy is potentially a local maximum. And this is sort of what Ruben was saying, is like this is what's so hard about this, is that in the short term, it always seems like the right thing to do to just charge more, because you just sort of immediately make more money and it seems right. You're like, look, the numbers are going up. This is good. But you don't know that path you're not exploring, which is like, what if this were just a no-brainer for everyone? What could it look like then? If it really were a no-brainer and became the dominant thing and everyone had it, could you be making way, way, way more money? Like, yeah, maybe. Certainly could be possible.
Yep. It's tricky.
So no matter what, you can't be happy. That's how I feel.
Yeah, because you can't split test reality, so you can't know what the alternative would be for sure. Similarly, I'm kind of thinking about the same stuff. So I've just reworked the SavvyCal funnel, and it's like I'm midway through that right now of dropping our credit card requirement. And so that I shipped that at the beginning of June. So no more credit card required. And now we automatically start a trial for you. And we extended it to 14 days because we figured that like before you could play around with the product and then click a button when you were ready to start your trial. So that was a shorter window. It was a 7-day trial. But since we're automatically starting it for you when you finish the onboarding wizard, we extended it out to 14 days. So I'm currently in the 7-day gap where there's no more trials to convert because all the prior ones have completed, and then I'm just waiting to see what the conversion rate is going to be on the new credit cardless trial.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, but it's on the one hand it's cool because we're already beyond the normal number of trials that we get. So we were converting around 20% of people who made it who registered for the product. 20% of those people each month would start a trial, and then about 70% of those people would convert into paid. That was the metric that I was most proud of. Honestly, it was my trial to paid conversion rate. And that's going to be different now because no credit card, always drops that. But I'm also staring at like the percentage of people who have put their card on file after starting their trial. It's still very low, but I know that that's probably to be expected. Like we nudge them a couple times over email to like, hey, if you want to keep your links active, got to put your card on file. So I'm sure it'll go up. It has to go up from where it's at right now as people approach the end of their trial, but curious to see what that number is going to be. But yeah, all of this is just in pursuit of getting more people to deeper into the product without friction and trying it out using Meeting Polls, which is free. If you don't want to stay on a paid plan, you can use Meeting Polls for free. So it's kind of like in support of that kind of freemium upsell flow. Similarly, like SavvyCal is best used with other people, and the more people that you collaborate with, the more valuable the product is. So thinking about ways to like encourage that to happen more is pretty interesting.
This is the one thing that like worries me that we're leaving on the table, I would say. And this is why like I'm always kind of thinking about or bringing up like freemium or some sort of, some cheaper offering or something like that. I do love the idea of charge the people that really are getting a lot of value and love it a lot of money, but also have some other sort of thing, like a narrow part of the wedge for the people that use it less or very casually. I do worry I'm being potentially a little short-sighted there with moves like this, but what are you going to do? I think there's a grand test eventually in our future of some kind to help sort of figure this out.
Yeah. You'll probably find yourself in a place where like, okay, it feels like we're in a really good spot to kind of think about what's the next big thing that could shift the dynamics of the business. And maybe that time's not right now, but eventually I think you'll get to that point where you'll have an appetite to test it.
That sounds right to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'll know when it's the time. And like the business is doing well now. Mm-hmm. There's certainly some like hypothetical alternate reality where we've made different choices and it's doing even better. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, this is not a bad reality.
Yeah. Yep.
Episode title.
Mm-hmm. This is not a bad reality. I like it.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. Also, we paid back 8% of our Stripe Capital loan so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you set to pay it back then in like 8 months? Is that what they estimate? Something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I did a little looking at alternative capital sources like that. So I've been trying to build like a mental model around like when is the right time to, bring in a Stripe Capital loan or something like Pipe, that's like more directly tied to like basically selling subscriptions to them and getting a discounted amount of money back for them. kind of as an exercise, like I want to always know what options are on the table in the event that like if growth slows a little bit and cash balances are dipping below a point that I'm comfortable with, and I want to be able to, in the short term, kind of just shore up cash in the bank to feel more comfortable, I guess. So that's like one piece of just like I want to be able to take some comfort in knowing that like if I need to access some cash in the short term to bridge like a couple of months or something, that's available. So I just set up a Pipe account and connected all my Stripe and accounting system, and just to see like what's the current offer.
What'd you see?
I think right now like I have only $35K accessible through that. And it's like I think it's like 94 cents on the dollar. So that would cost, like between $1,000 and $2,000. And it needs to be paid back within 6 months. So they give you like a number of different parameters. It's like, what's the bid price? What's the amount or the maximum amount you can borrow? And then what's the term? And it's all of those variables are based on how much cash you have in the bank right now, what your ARR is, they might take into account growth rate. I'm not sure, but they have a whole model that's kind of opaque. They don't really give you all the details about that. And
is this a straight loan, or is this the revenue factoring thing?
It's more of a revenue factoring thing. It's like you're pulling forward cash and then you're paying it back in monthly installments over a fixed term.
Mm-hmm. Based on subscriptions that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's correlated to that. So in their UI, it's like, here's a list of all your subscriptions, and you can check a box on the ones that you want to basically sell to Pipe to get the cash right now. But I think they're not actually tying it to your existing subscriptions. It's just like a proxy for how much cash that they'd be willing to loan you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I thought it was tied, but
I don't think it's directly tied. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I do remember them saying like if that subscription cancels, you just replace it with a different one or something. So maybe it is more agnostic about the exact like customer.
Yep.
And that sort of makes sense. Like they can't really go run a credit check on all of your customers and be like, how likely, or like it's not even a credit check. It's like determine how likely that person is to churn.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
That sounds complicated.
Yeah. So it's interesting because so something like that where it's like, okay, it's not enough money to like hire a new person off of, and you have to pay it back relatively quickly. So it's like in my mind, I would need to have some use for that where I could reasonably expect to get an ROI better than a couple $1,000s in that short amount of time in order for it to be worth it. Because otherwise I'm just paying it all back, but it's cost me money to pull that cash forward. And if I don't have something that I can actually get an ROI on it in the near term, then it's not really that useful to me. So I don't know. It was kind of interesting to explore that and realize like I think those terms will get more favorable. So like they could extend out to up to a year. I think if they feel more comfortable with the metrics of my business, I guess like all of those variables could get tweaked as things go. But for now, it's not that interesting. Like Stripe Capital's offering me like $70K right now, I think, but it's considerably more expensive. Like I think the fee on that is like $5,000 or something. So yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And so the thought process here is you're spending a bit more than you're making, and you want to have more buffer in the bank so you feel better about it.
Potentially. Yeah. Like I have it all modeled out where I think it'll be just fine based on current growth rates. But again, when you like change up your funnel, it's like, well, just in case like if things take a little turn for a little bit, like this little blip, I just want to like feel confident,
Totally. Yeah, that does make it scarier.
Yeah.
Well, good on you for like still doing the experiments.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it would be a trap to just say like, I'm nervous about changing anything, so let me just assume this is best.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe me, it's like, again, it's that thing, like things have been going fine. Like it's slow and steady growth is kind of how I see it, and like it's been very consistent, but I have a feeling it could be better. And I think something like this credit cardless trial, I think will be a net positive, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. So, I did have to push myself for a while to finally pull the trigger on this and say like, okay, it's worth it. Even though like it's been comfortable, it's still been, I think we could do better. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other big things you want to get out?
No, I think that's it for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. That worked out nicely then.
Cool. Cool.
Well, notes the show.
Notes for the show can be found at artofproductpodcast.com.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.